In this video, I will show you how to calculate the sum of even numbers from 1 to up to the given number, as well as sum of odd numbers from 1 to up to the given number. So in a single program, I am going to calculate the sum of even numbers as well as odd numbers from beginning from 1 to up to the given number. So for that, open the tool, select new source file, include the required library files. Generally, we need one standard library file, that is standard input output header file. After including that, start main function. So this is the origin point of our program. Next, we need to think about how many variables are required, what data type of variables are required. So here we are dealing with integer data types. So we need to collect an input value from the user because our starting point is 1. We need to check how many values is going to print, that is n. Similarly, we are going to calculate the even number sum as well as odd number sum. So even number sum is represented by a variable name esum, and that is initially holded a value that is called 0. Odd number sum osum, that is also initially with 0. And we need to control a variable because we need a requirement for a requirement of a loop, that is called for loop. So the for loop will iterate the control variable I beginning from 1 to up to the given number. So why I am going to use for loops, I will explain and I will also justify that. So here this is the declaration state. So I'm going to declare a variable of type integer. N is an integer. I will collect the input from the user. In future, I'm going to calculate the sum of the even numbers, sum of the odd numbers. Initially, they are holding zeros. And I need a loop control variable that is initially with I. So first target is we need to collect an input value from the user. So for that, we need to inform user enter a number. Enter a number. Ends with semicolon. We need to scan that input value from the user. So as it is an integer, we are using format specifier as %d, and here we are using &n to collect the input from the user. N is the input variable name. After that, we need to iterate our loop. Our loop is having three things. Initialization. The control variable is initialized with 1. Why it is 1? Because our target is we need to calculate the sum of even numbers beginning from 1 to up to the given number. Up to the given number means that becomes our condition. Up to the given number. Given number is n. So n value will be identified at runtime. At runtime, user will assign some value to this n. Each time it is incremented by I. That is called 1. I plus plus is nothing but 1. Why? Because initially it starts from 1. How it becomes 2? How it becomes 3? How it becomes 4, 5, 6 up to the given number based on I plus plus. Now, our aim is to calculate the even number sum as well as odd number sum. How can we justify that the reading number is even number or odd number? So from our school days onwards, we learned that if any number is successfully divisible by 2, any number means here I, successfully divisible by 2 means it returns remainder as 0. Then we include that sum as part of even sum only when it satisfies this condition. Suppose if it does not satisfy its condition, means if any number is not successfully divisible by 2 means obviously it is odd number. So then we have to include for odd sum. This is like this. After come out of the for loop, finally the ESUM is holds the even number sum, OSUM holds the odd number sum. So printf even numbers sum, that is an integer number only, %d. The result is stored in a variable ESUM, ends with semicolon. The same statement just I am copying and pasted into for the odd sum also by changing the meaning. This one, odd number sum, odd numbers. This is OSUM. So I will save this program even odd sum dot c in my respective directory. To compile this program, I am using this icon, or you can use F9 button in your keyboard to compile. No errors, 0 errors and 0 warnings. And to run this program, I have to click on this icon, or I can also press F10 button. So enter a number. Suppose if I entered a number 10, how many even numbers are there from 1 to 10? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So the sum of 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10 results 30. How many odd numbers are there? 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So sum of 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, that results 20, 25. So even number. So actually I kept that information inside the loop. That is the reason how many times the loop is running, that many number of times we got the result. So I will keep these statements outside of the loop, that I can do it. After else I keep. After closing the for loop, we need to keep these statements. After closing the for loop. Before closing the main method, after closing the for loop, we need to keep these statements. So once we made any changes, immediately save them, recompile the program for latest changes and run. Now we can check it. We'll get the output. Even number sum is 30 and odd number sum is 25. These two statements are clubbed together. I will separate them by applying new line for the first one. So here no need to give new line. Why? Because there are no more statements after this line. So no use of giving slash n here. So again, once we made any changes, immediately save and compile and run this one. Suppose if I enter 10, I should get even numbers. 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10 results 30. 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9 results 25. So again, you can check the logic once. So what I did, initially our target is reading numbers from 1 to up to the given number. So this for loop, why I am taking the help of the for loop, my target is I want to read the input values beginning from 1 to up to some certain range. So this number is assigned by user at runtime. At runtime, this number is assigned by the user. So for that, I am using scanf. Target is calculating even sum as well as odd sum. And to iterate the value from 1 to up to the given number, I am taking one more control variable I, that is used 3 times in the for loop, as like initialization, as like condition, as like iteration, that is called incremented by one time. After entering in the loop, so each time the input variable is stored in I am checking that input is an even number or not. If that number is successfully divisible by 2, then it is called even number, otherwise it is called odd number. All even numbers will be executed the if block. All odd numbers are executed the else block. After come out of the loop, ESEM holds the final even number sum, OSEM holds the final odd number sum. So in this way, we can calculate even sum as well as odd sum.